Greetings. It's time for a Simmers morning skate. Rob Simpson with you, SeattleHockeyInsider.com, and it's my pleasure to bring in Troy Bodie, ladies and gentlemen, former NHLer, and now the VP of Hockey and Business Operations for the Coachella Valley Firebirds. What's up, Troy?
Hey, not a whole lot. Trying to beat the heat of the summer here.
Did they call you Bodes? What did they call you?
That was the common nickname. Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
easy one.
It's kind of mandatory. If your name already ends in an IE or ER, then they can't go that way. So they have to add, they turn it into an S. It's like the
Exactly.
unwritten rule of hockey nicknames.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
not very creative in hockey.
no, but it's good because everybody
Yeah.
has one. You played 150 odd games in the National Hockey League. Could you, by the way, you're a big guy, 6'5", 225 was your playing weight ish.
Hmm.
Imagine if you had been born 20 years earlier, what your life would have been like, how the game has
Oh my
changed.
gosh, got to be fighting every night.
You would have been fighting every night. Uh,
Hmm.
you were drafted by the Oilers. Just for fun, let's go back.
Hmm.
2007 preseason, I believe, was your first NHL tilt, and it was none other than Dion Phaneuf. Does that ring a bell?
I remember that very clearly. Yeah, that was NHL preseason and trying to make a name for myself. So why not go after the big hotshot rookie out there and really try to stir it up a bit?
How'd that go?
It went fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't think either of us really got the best of each other, but certainly ruffled some feathers, which is was I was trying to do.
Yeah. Preseason Battle of Alberta. He would have been Calgary, you would have been Edmonton. You never actually played a game in the regular season with the Oilers, but then, of course, you did move on to play for some other clubs, most importantly, or for the longest amount of time, the Toronto Maple Leafs. You were with Anaheim when you scored your first NHL goal. Tell us about your first NHL goal.
Oh, it was a beauty, breakaway top corner, all that type of stuff. No, that's what I'd like it to be. It was a shot. It was a pass from the corner, went off my laces and very fitting the way I played. That's how my first NHL goal went. Then the very next night, I scored a really nice goal. Picked off a pass, went down on Ryan Miller, low blocker. I wish that could have been the first goal, but I was pretty happy that I had two at that point, though.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
How many games in was the first one?
Oh, it was a
A little
gosh,
while.
17 games. Yeah, it took a bit.
And who was that against, the first one?
Curtis McElhenney.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice. You'll never forget it. I'm sure
never forget it.
you
No,
still have the puck.
I have it somewhere. Yeah.
Um, Tell me a little bit about how you got into you left the Leafs in the mid 2000s and almost immediately got into scouting.
Yes, so it was right after, I played 2 years with the Leafs and Marlies and then got right into scouting with the Maple Leafs. Did start off kind of part-time and then, worked its way into a full-time job and then director of pro scouting for 3 years. And then from there, had a relationship with Ron Francis. Obviously, he coached me before in Carolina, so knew him from that, and it was pretty fitting living out here already in Los Angeles that joined the Kraken in a role down in Palm Springs.
By the way, to go back again, you were the 278th pick in the famous 2003 draft. There were
Hmm.
14 guys selected after you. And maybe just proof that everybody says it was the greatest draft of all times. The first round was unbelievable. There were four more guys that made the National Hockey League after you
Hmm.
in that ninth round. Pretty
Oh
amazing.
yeah, it was amazing, and you look through that draft, and there's just guys that played throughout the rounds, and but no, I was very close to not being drafted, but it was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. I wasn't expected to be drafted, so.
Right. 159 games, as I mentioned. And then Brian Elliott was the next to last guy taken, the goaltender for Ottawa.
Oh yeah,
And he played 543 games and he
yeah.
was the 291st pick. By the way, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick that year was by New Jersey, and it was Arseny Bondarev from Yaroslavl. So good luck to Arseny.
Yeah.
Hey, Troy, this past season, let's start with the Firebirds making the Calder Cup final and the amazing run, but first of all, the disappointment and the maybe shock that they lose 3 games in overtime and they lose game 7 at home.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaking series. Obviously, the year we had was lots to be proud of. You know, we had some struggles. Obviously, our building wasn't open till December 18th for playing games. Started in Seattle, 2 months there, living out of a hotel. The players and staff didn't get to see their families much. Played some home games there. Just scattered, two in the practice facility up in KCI, one in Everett, one in Climate Pledge. Then we finally got to Coachella, early November, and we still had 6 more weeks of playing on the road. By the time we played our first game, we were right in the hunt for first place there. So it was incredible that we got the season started, so well. We had some great veterans, whatnot, and then kept it going all the way to a second place overall finish in the regular season. Played as many playoff games as we possibly could, except for one, and ended up, with the heartbreaker of all heartbreakers, losing Game 7 overtime in the Cup Finals.
Yeah, but as Ron Francis, the GM of the Kraken, has pointed out, the impact your guys had, or you guys, everybody, front office and on the ice, of course, was pretty remarkable, considering what it meant to that fan base and what that fan base has become.
Oh yeah, no, it's we coming into a non-hockey market like the desert. There was no arena there was no ice. We really had to build the hockey market there now. And saying that, there was a lot of snowbirds from Canada or the US North and Seattle and Washington and that off season down there who are already hockey fans, but we still had to build the market and put a team on the ice that they could be proud of, and that was certainly our goal to represent the Valley well. And I think we did an excellent job of that, and through and through. It was great to see what we accomplished on and off the ice in the community and everything. But it was a lot of fun, and we just hope to continue that success.
10,000 plus capacity, and you had it pretty much every single playoff game. So how's the season tickets looking?
They're looking good. Yeah, I bet you we're right up there with the lead in the league, if not leading the league. But it's yeah, no, we're doing well.
It's the atmosphere is kind of second to none. I understand. I didn't get a chance to get down. I was going to sneak down during the final, but couldn't do it. But pretty good little party.
It is quite the party. Yeah, I like to say it's like a small NHL building. 10,000 fans. Roughly half of what a big NHL building would hold, but it is no question an NHL atmosphere. On the ice, in the stands. It's first class. Our locker room, our gym, we got a practice facility on on the property as well. We'll walk out of our locker room. Out one door is the home bench to the game rink, and walk out the other door and run the practice rink. So it is first class.
Hey, look at it this way: you're twice the size of the Coyotes' home rink. So
Yeah, no comment there. But we're proud of what we're doing. Yeah.
All right, all this kind of goes hand in hand. Everybody signed, minor league level, big league level, in the big show. There's 4, 30 somethings, early 30s in the forward group at the NHL level. 4 regular D men, 30 something, low 30s for the most part. But the organization, and you, of course, in Coachella Valley, really have to start thinking about, okay, this player development thing over the next few years has to kick in. So you have to be cognizant of that, and you have to be cognizant of winning hockey games at the AHL level. Are we pretty cool with what we've got going so far and where we're at this stage, just year 2?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, development is a huge part of what we're doing here. We want to win hockey games, we want to win championships, but we we don't shy away with the fact that we're into developing players, and it's a big part of what we do is developing players to be future Kraken. And we've got some good young prospects there, and prospects that have already proven our development method to be fruitful. And Ty Karche went up and scored big goals for the Kraken in the playoffs. We got Joey Decord who went up and played games. Our captain Max McCormick, who's not a younger player, but still a developing player. Gustav Olofsson as well. Riker Evans is a great prospect for us who didn't get to play games this year, but he's chomping at it and had an unbelievable playoffs. So development is very, very important to us, and I think our fans are going to understand here that these players aren't forever players in the Coachella Valley, but that's what's so much fun about AHL hockey is you develop players, you get them to the NHL, and then there's a new crop that comes in, and we get to have some exciting new players there as well.
Yeah, player development first and foremost, because the Stanley Cup's really the only thing that matters ultimately, and that's where you're trying to go. Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you did throw out a few names, so I'm thinking, are there 2 or 3 in there that could be wild cards, or maybe there's more at Kraken training camp? And it'd be like, oh, what do you know? Look who's made this team. I mean, we're kind of at that stage with a couple of these guys for sure.
Yeah, there's a few of them that could, have big summers and push for a spot. Like I mentioned, those 3, Ty and Riker and Joey are, really chomping at it. And Ty and Riker are younger players, and still very well could come back and or waiver exempt. So but they're a possibility if they come in to impress. I mean, that's what we're trying to do at the NHL level is get the best team on the ice as possible. And then of course Joey Decord had a great season as well. And there's there's some other players as well, but those are probably our top 3, I'd say.
Yeah, competition is what you're looking for, right? And
Absolutely.
if somebody upsets somebody else, hey, tough beans. That's what it's all about. It's like you just said, put the best team on the ice. I saw some social media today from the Firebirds with Andrew Podoralski. Potsy's back, number 22. They were showing some highlights. Just for the fans' information, so that they're aware. So, and you were in the ECHL for a little bit, so double A hockey, so to speak. Those guys are mostly, I mean, they're not affiliated with team contractually. They're coach and GM at that level. They're going to have to put the roster together every year. They bring back guys when they can, but they're all basically double A free agents, where the American League guys are all generally on 2-way contracts, or they're on 1-ways and they're down playing at the AHL level. It's an organizational thing for everybody with the Firebirds, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the double A level, we do have some contracted players, some Firebirds contracted players that we assign down there to help them out and to play games, be ready in case we need someone there as well for injuries and whatnot. But our affiliate in Kansas City, the Mavericks, had a really good year last year. They've got, a great coaching staff there with Tato Had and Riley Weslowski, and they do a great job and making sure our guys are ready when we need them there. And at the same time, they're developing those players to come help us, but they're also trying to win a championship, and they do a great job.
So Firebirds, Dan Bilesma, head coach, everybody's back staff wise.
Everyone's back. Absolutely.
Yep. And what's happening between now and then? What's the job for you? Everybody in hockey gets a little breather here, a little heat breather, but what are the next steps?
Yeah, it's a quiet time of the year for sure. We've we've gone through kind of the big part of free agency and re-signing some players, bringing some new fresh players into the organization as well, and then still a little bit of work to do on that front, but it's fairly quiet for the most part. And there's some office and logistics. That's where the business operations comes in, and it's but you really try to take some time off here, because when the season hits, it's all hands on deck.
Yeah. One group that doesn't really get any time off is the scouts, especially the amateur scouts, because we got the Gretzky, Holinka, and the under 17 basically overlapping in the Czech Republic, and that comes up at the start of August. And all of European hockey starts up in August, their camps and all that, and they get cranking early. So we're not far away, but at least you get a little break here, Bodes, to enjoy things a bit. And as you just mentioned, it's going to get nuts here pretty soon. All of a sudden it's going to be boom, and here we go. And
Yeah.
obviously we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very happy to get a little bit of time off here. It felt like it just started, to be honest, but I'm excited to see what the year brings us here, and at both levels, the NHL level, of course, the Kraken, I believe, are improved, and hopefully get the pieces that they need to keep advancing and keep improving, and then our goal is to win one more game than last year, but
One more
it's
goal.
one more goal.
One more goal.
One more goal. But it'll be exciting for sure.
Well, we appreciate the time and taking the time here during the summer months, and also just kind of filling us in on some background and also some of the names that we're going to be looking for moving ahead. So thanks very much, Bodes.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sam. Appreciate it.